Bird photography is expensive, but we'll get to that in a minute. First, my best friend, wife of 26 years, Katie. Katie is what some would call a bird nerd. It's said that a nerd is a person seen as overly intellectual, maybe obsessive, introverted, or lacking in social skills. Perhaps this nerdy person may spend an inordinate amount of time on unpopular or non-mainstream activities. Stereotypically speaking, a nerd would be characterized as someone that dressed funny and perhaps as a result would be unpopular. Not Katie, she's adorable, dresses like a doll, and everybody loves her. So she's ultimately just an obsessive, overly intellectual, cool person that likes birds. I enjoy watching Katie as she quietly watches the birds. Me, I wrestle with camera gear. Perhaps I'd be known as a camera nerd, except that I fumble through settings, get frustrated when things don't go my way, and I'm certainly no introvert. No one would say I'm overly intellectual either. Obsessive? Well, yeah, I'm definitely a bit obsessive. Katie, though, she sits quietly and listens. Quietly, peacefully, watching and listening. No fumbling with camera gear, no lugging around tripods. Just quietly, peacefully listening. As I watch Katie blissfully enjoy her surroundings, I find myself questioning the reasoning behind my obsessive behavior. Katie's approach is simple. Observe, identify, study. She then records what she sees in one of her pretty little books. As for Katie's gear, well, Katie does have a nice set of binoculars, only because I forced them on her. She would gladly observe through a $29 set from Amazon, but I told her she needs at a bare minimum the Vortex 10x42 Diamondback HD binoculars. High-definition binoculars with coated optics and phase-corrected roof prisms. That's right, guys, phase-corrected roof prisms. She humored me. So back to bird photography. While some are content with simply witnessing the beauty of nature, others, like me, are driven to record and to share. Sharing comes in many different forms, all of which carry a specific set of skills. A simple story recounting your events over dinner may suffice for some. Others may put pencil to paper and wax poetic about the song note of a western meadowlark, how the rich and fluting notes make the bird seem confident and self-assured. I particularly admire the illustrators that artistically capture the essence of a species. Well, I don't consider myself much of an artist. I've never won any photo contests, and I'm not likely to make any money selling bird pictures. I, like most bird photographers, simply want to share the beautiful moments we witness in nature. For instance, I could tell you all about this beautiful fence line Katie and I have been visiting. I could tell you how the fence stretches for miles through the sagebrush of southern Idaho and describe to you the brilliant blue that adorns the mountain bluebirds. And I could recount to you the hours we spent watching them fly from post to post. If I happen to do a well enough job describing it, you might be able to paint a picture in your mind and imagine yourself there. There are hundreds of bird boxes in this area occupied by various species. Tree swallows, bluebirds, and house wrens are the main residents of these rustic old boxes, and for the most part, they're friendly neighbors. But this is the story of one box and one lovely mountain bluebird couple. This is the male mountain bluebird. He is diligent. He's constantly checking on the brood. He watches the area, always scanning and changing his vantage point, from the fence to the box, always scanning and always watching. The male mountain bluebird's behavior is quite curious during nesting season. The males have often been seen with nesting material en route to the nesting box, but never actually placing the materials in the box. In other words, the female does all the work when it comes to nesting. He's always there, though, perhaps for emotional support. He may fly away from time to time, but never for too long. And when he returns, he often returns with a snack. It looks like this snack is just for him. He, of course, is not alone. He and his girlfriend make a great team. She watches and checks on the brood with him, never out of each other's sight for more than a few moments. They make a great team. This will go on for weeks. Little mountain bluebirds diligently watching, protecting and nourishing the brood. I started this YouTube channel for moments like this. Sure, I may do some gear reviews and joke about gear acquisition syndrome, but these little moments are what it's all about. I've taken pictures of birds time and time again. I would stare at it for a moment and perhaps print it out and hang it on my wall, but there's something special about these moments. Behavior. Sure, it takes time, equipment, and hours of editing. Maybe I'm selfish, but for me, it's about the story. The story of the little mountain bluebirds. I'm sure I'll go back to this video time and time again just to watch these little moments. Don't get me wrong, I thoroughly enjoy freezing those moments with pictures. I have hundreds of images from just this encounter, sweet little moments that I will certainly treasure. Nevertheless, the sounds and behavior have brought me a new sense of satisfaction. Perhaps it's the slower pace of the video. This encounter with the mountain bluebirds would have made for a great story over dinner. Perhaps I could have sketched it out with colored pencils. However, there is something special about seeing these moments. Unfortunately, it's difficult to get these types of moments with an iPhone or even an entry-level DSLR. Thus, yes, bird photography is expensive, but worth it.